Good morning, friends. Today we shall start the next topic, next bit of the unit, that is a pen culture. Yesterday we have seen about that the cage culture. Cage culture and pen culture, it is nothing but the different techniques to be used for the pen culture. It is nothing but the type of cultures or the culture methods. Let's we start the introduction about the pen culture. Pens, it is an artificial enclosure generally constructed within a shallow base for holding and rearing of fishes. Pens, it is nothing but the artificial enclosure, and this enclosure, it is constructed with the water, and the fishes they are hold and rearing into that the artificial enclosure. It is nothing but called as the pen culture. So fishes are cultured in the pens inside the lakes or offshore areas of the flowing water. Pens are enclosed constructed of bamboo and the wooden poles and nylon nets. Material it is required for the pens, that is the bamboo poles, wooden poles and nylon nets. Poles are fixed into the bottom of shallow water area and net strung from pole to pole to form enclosure. The nets are anchored at the bottom so stocked fishes cannot escape. Nylon net is useful for netting because it does not rot. The poles which are used for pens must be treated with oil because these poles are not rust. Then the size of pens varies, usually 20 meter in length, 10 meter in the breadth and 5 meter in a deep, means that is a 20 into 10 into the 5 meter inch deep. That is the unique size of the pens. The fish pen placed in fertile lakes have very good growth rate of the fishes. If the water is not fertile, then supplementary feeding is to be given to the stocked fishes. So lifespan of the pen used for fish culture is 3 to 5 years in a water. Means one of the cage we have constructed, it is required for the 3 to 5 years into the water. So the culture of fishes in pens, that is an old practice. It is firstly adopted by the Philippines, and the pens were the first introduced in 1965 by Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources. In pens, the culture of fishes like common carp, Copias tentacularis, tilapia, milkfish, it is near about 38 hectare of widespread area used for the culture of fishes in Laguna Lake. Later on in Japan, pen culture is used for octopus and the yellow tailfish. But in India, the common carp it is cultured in the pen. Fish Pagasus is cultured in Thailand and Cambodia. So in that which place the native species is required, so this native species is cultured into the pens. What about the size of pens? Pens are of three sizes generally used. That is the small size, that is 1 meter into 2 meter into 1 meter in deep. Then medium size, that is 2 meter into 5 meter into 1.5 meter in a deep. And the large size, that is 4.5 meter into 10 meter into 2 meter in deep. Generally, the large size of the pens is used for the culture of these species. Site for pens. Which of the sites is selected for the pens? It is protected. It is protected. So site should have natural protection from strong wind and the waves. So such site you have to select. These the sites they have protected from the wind and the waves. Depth should not be more than 5 meter, means it is required only the 2 meter in deep. Pens should not be put into the turbid or polluted water, means it has needed the clear water. Then muddy soil is the best for the bottom, because of that we have put the poles. Then the bottom are desirable for easy stacking of the poles. After fixing of the poles, gap between the poles are filled with the help of net size or the mesh up of nylon, other synthetic materials, and this nylon it is used for only the passing of water. They do not pass the stocked fishes into the panes. So poles must be treated with oil or paint to prevent the rusting of the poles. This such kind of the sites should be used for the pen culture. Advantage of pen culture. What is the benefits of the pen culture? So pens do not require fertilizers. It needed little maintenance. Fish culture is possible into the running water. Feeding with artificial food is not necessary, but fishes are protected from their enemies. Growth rate of fish is faster than in pond culture. So these are the benefits of the pen culture. Now let us see the advantage, disadvantage of the pen culture. Cost of construction is more. Little maintenance is required, but cost of construction is more for purchasing of the bamboo poles, nets, roofs, etc. etc. Life of fish pens is less than the ponds. The pens it has required 3 to 5 years, but when we constructed one pond in 1 year, they may be up to the 10 to 20 years. So the lifespan of the pens is less than the ponds. It reduces the natural productivity of water body in which it is built up. In non-fertile water, additional food and fertilizers are required. These are the disadvantage of the pen culture. Thank you. Welcome your suggestions and the questions.